morning, everybody. We're going to go for a ride this morning. You can see from the sign up there, that's Farm to Market 2071. We're going to be going in a triangle, starting from there. And we're headed down south from the city of Gainesville. We're on Farm to Market Road 2071, headed out of the city. This little ride is less than 30 miles south of Gainesville. It comprises of 3 roads. I just want to mention this bridge here, notice it, and I'll bring it up again later in the video. So the ride consists of 3 different roads. Farm to Market 2071, which is the road that we're on. All the roads are very nice, very well maintained. You're not going to have any issues along that. Second road is this road's going to dead end into 922, Farm to Market 922. We'll talk about that road in a minute. And then the third leg is Farm to Market 372, and we'll talk about that road a little bit later on in the video as well. So as we head out of the city, the road's well maintained. The road is only going to contain light traffic. We're not going to encounter a lot of vehicles on the road, oncoming, or we're not going to come up behind that many vehicles. Most of the route is in a rural area. One thing that you're going to want to know along this particular leg of the route, Farm to Market 2071, is there no shoulder. So if you need to pull over for whatever reason, you're going to have to pull into somebody's driveway or some type of embankment. There's another little bridge here with a creek. I'm going to mention those as promised a little bit later in the video. So if you need to pull over for whatever reason along this route, do so with great caution. The ground, as you pull off, slopes away from the road. There's a drop-off. Grass growing up can conceal that. If you're trying to pull off over there, park your motorcycle for whatever reason, you might run into some difficulty because the ground slips away. Although there's good visibility, if you need to pull over, put your hazards on. Cars can see you from clear, so you won't encounter any issues. The visibility is good along all 3 of these roads. Driveways that intersect to it have good line of visibility, so we're not going to encounter any issues with vehicles pulling onto the road or exiting the road. You'll see livestock on both sides of the road. There on the left, there's some cattle as we're out in the rural North Texas area. We've got cows, we've got horses, both sides of the road. The scenery is pretty nice, both sides of the road. This being the spring, lots of things are growing. You might see a squirrel or 2 running across the road. Be aware, squirrels, rabbits is roadkill. I don't encounter that much, but I do encounter them along this route from time to time. I'll usually watch for circling birds ahead, indicating to me that there is some roadkill up ahead. Large black circling birds. Along 2071, it's not very curvy. It just has some nice scenery along both sides of the road. This route is suitable for all levels of riders, from beginner, intermediate, and advanced riders. Like I said, the roads are in good repair. They've got good visibility. Nothing's going on. that requires any special skill to navigate. As we come across some of these houses that are in west side of Valley View or South Gainesville, 2071 travels south to 922, farm to market 922, travels from Valley View over to Tioga. 922 also travels along the north side of Ray Roberts. Several of the bridges, as I mentioned earlier, all these little bridges that we cross over are creeks that empty into the north side of Ray Roberts. Ray Roberts on the north side, it's got lots of little fingers, and they got lots of little bridges that cover those fingers. And the creeks also have lots of little bridges. These bridges here cover those fingers. As we come down here to 922, farm to market 922, it's recently been under construction. They've just finished the construction. It's nice and smooth now, but they haven't painted the lines on the road yet. We'll see that just as we get up ahead, crossing another little creek. Sometimes you'll see people, trucks particularly, pull over on the side of the road, off the road, and you'll see people down there fishing. As these creeks, recently we've had a rainy season, creeks are high. If you like fishing, these are some excellent places to go fishing. Likely to catch lots and lots of fish. North side of Ray Roberts, these fingers, lots of people like to fish there. If you like to fish with other people as a social event, you'll find them there. If you like to fish alone, you'll have to find your own creek. But seeing how there's so many creeks up here, that shouldn't be hard to do. And we're traveling along. I can see you got good visibility. I'll go ahead and pass this car while I still have the dotted line. And we're around. Coming up to the end of Farm to Market 2071. Right up ahead, it's going to be intersecting into Farm to Market 455. As I said, that takes you from Valley View over to Tioga. We won't be going as far as Tioga. We'll only be taking 922 over to 372, and then we'll be turning north on 372, headed back up into Gainesville, where it intersects on the very road that we're on, forming a triangle. The entire route is a little less than 30 miles. Nice little ride for North Texas, particularly the people that live in the small towns around here. If you live in Valley View, Tioga, Gainesville, Burns, Mountain Springs, Pilot Point, Lindsay, a lot of the other small towns around here, Sanger. This is a nice little route, very scenic. Now we're on 922. As I said, this is very smooth. Construction is complete. Just they haven't painted the lines yet. It's very, very, very smooth. These are the bridges that I was speaking about on the north side of Ray Roberts. As soon as the vegetation clears, you can see the water on both sides. This is North Ray Roberts. Occasionally we'll see boats out there fishing. You won't see many speedboats or jet skis up in this area. It's too much underwater vegetation, trees that have been flooded out. But you do see people fish up here quite a bit. Not going to see any speedboats. I'm not sure this area is suitable for swimming. Never seen anybody out there swimming. I wouldn't recommend it, but I do see people fishing there. If you ever ride this route during the winter time, be advised that if the temperatures are below freezing, there's no de-icing operations over these bridges that I've rode over, that I've mentioned. There's no de-icing operations, so if there's any precipitation, there's going to be ice on those bridges. They do not de-ice them, so be advised. If the temperature's below freezing, there's precipitation in the air, those bridges will be frozen. Proceed with extreme caution. Whether you're in a car, or especially if you're in a motorcycle. So we've got some livestock over there, some cattle. Fence on both sides of the roads. Private property. People having livestock. The ranch right there that was on my left side. Small community of houses. There's no inlet, outlet, no through road. Expect all those roads to end in a cul-de-sac. As we travel up here on 922, we're soon going to be taking a turning left, or also which is known as north, back into Gainesville. If we did turn south, we would proceed down into the North Branch, North State Park, over Rates Roberts, which is called the Johnson Branch. It is the north side State Park over Ray Roberts. On the south side is Isle du Bois. On the north side is Johnson Branch. Both of them are state parks. One's on the south side, one's on the north side. 372 along that route comes out just north of Sanger, and it's a very beautiful ride. I'll ride it another day and video it, but we won't be doing that today. We're going to be turning north back into Gainesville to do the triangle. I haven't come up with an exact name for my little route. I know it's a triangle. 372 to 2071 to 922 back to 372. We're entering a little town called Mountain Springs right here. Population is in the hundreds, low hundreds at that. Maybe 250. Called Mountain Springs. It's right here. Some beautiful houses on either side of the road. Estates, really, not even houses, estates. It's a better word for it. And we got a stop sign. This is 372 where it intersects. Four-way stop. All cars will be stopping. Very clear visibility. There won't be any surprises here, but we're turning north. So now we're on 372 headed north. This is the last leg of the journey. Right here in Mountain Springs, just as we're headed north, it's going to be pretty straight. The curves come right when we pass the farm to market road that would take us over to Lake Kiowa. We've got the passing lines there, so I can go ahead and pass that car. Like I said, there's fairly light traffic along these routes. Roads are in good repair and there's good visibility. We're going to be coming up on another small town called Burns City, or Burns. It's in the population in the hundreds, low hundreds. Just a small little town. New Hope Cemetery there on the left as we just passed. Cruising along 372 now north, headed up back to Gainesville. We've got some few houses along each side of the road that are set way back from the road. People living. out in the country, North Texas. Along this portion of the road, we're not going to find much roadkill because the area is pretty clear. This is Burn City right here. Burn City. Population in the low 100s. We're not going to find much roadkill on these roads because the area is a little too cultivated. As we travel a little further north, the area is less cultivated. You might encounter a roadkill here and there. Be advised. I did test ride this route this morning. I found one small dead rabbit and one small dead bird. This farm to market road right here on my right is farm to market road 3496. Takes us to Lake Kiowa. We'll be traveling that another day. And just as you pass 3496, we start getting into some curves. We encounter two curves right away, then it straightens out for a moment, and then we get into my favorite part of the ride, which is where the best curves are. The curves are easily navigatable at 70 miles an hour plus for experienced riders, but if this is your first time on the road or you're a more beginner or intermediate level, just follow the warning signs and you won't have any trouble at all. Visibility is clear, good, roads are good condition. On the right here is Camp Kiowa. Just want to mention, it always reminds me of Camp Crystal Lake. I check the Gainesville news occasionally, looking for our own version of the Jason or Michael Myers or something along that line. Nothing from Camp Kiowa, but being Camp Kiowa does remind me of Camp Crystal Lake. So here we are, we're getting into the curves and you can see the signs. So you can ride the road in day or night. Those signs are very visible at nighttime. Your headlight reflects off of them. I'm above 70 miles an hour. You can see that there's no issues riding. The curves are very nice. Although the scenery is pretty nice too, so if you wanted to slow down 50 miles an hour and enjoy the scenery, hey, this is beautiful North Texas. These roads are very nice, good condition. There's things to look at on both sides of the road, mostly horses and cattle and country farm equipment. Occasionally you'll spot somebody working out there. Be sure to wave them hello. If you do like the curves, then this is a very nice road for them, especially this nice little section at the end of along this section of 372. Again, they're well marked. You won't have any trouble seeing the curves or knowing where to turn, and there's not going to be any surprises, no hairpin turns. And the vehicles that may be entering or exiting the road are clearly visible from a distance away. But this area right here where the vegetation comes up on the side of the road a little closer is the area where you might want to watch out for livestock or roadkill. Squirrels may be crossing the roads. I see squirrels, rabbits, and turtles in this area. There's a dead bird right there. And once, while it wasn't roadkill, I did see a wild boar along this road. And it's very possible that that boar could have gotten hit, could have become roadkill. So I imagine a turtle or a boar would pose a major hazard to a motorcycle rider as roadkill along this road. The only saving grace is that the visibility is good. None of the curves are so sharp that you can't see a roadkill up ahead. And if you're riding during the day, watch for the circling birds, the large blackbirds. And if you see them, you know that most likely up ahead there is some roadkill. If you don't see them, then the road is most probably clear. Can't take that to 100%, but that is a good indication. Now we've done most but not all of the curves, coming over another bridge. This is where I see the turtles mostly, along this last bridge here. A few turtles that I've seen on this road. Would be in that area. Got some more curves ahead. And we have a couple of farm trucks up ahead. There's a roadkill. That looked like a squirrel. I imagine that there could be, I've never seen one, but I imagine that there could be some raccoons as well along that route. But I've never seen one. So as these trucks are up ahead of me, I'll reduce my speed a little bit. There's a creek, it's very full. Reduce my speed a little bit and enjoy the sights. Hill will be entering the city limit proper. Speed limit says 45. There's the city of Gainesville city limits. And we cross our last bridge, which is the last creek before we're into the city proper. That was very full. I did see somebody down there fishing. And recently we had a bad storm come through Gainesville. It blew many trees down. One reason why I pre-rode this route was because there were so many trees down in the city of Gainesville. It was like a low-level tornado or high-level winds. It was many trees down. As we come into the city, we're going to be coming up on this stop sign here. 372 turns into a stop sign. If you want to stay see 372, you have to stop and make a left. As we make this left right here at this stop sign, within 100 yards or a football field in length, we'll be seeing the junction for 2071, which is where we started this route, up here on the left. I already see the sign for it, junction 2071 right there. But if you'll notice, just on my left or south side there and on the right, you'll see a bunch of trees. This is where that I was talking about, where the trees have fallen down. We had a bad storm here in Gainesville. It's blocking that area. And here on our left side is 2071, which is where we began this ride, whoa, some 25 minutes ago, and 24.5 miles ago. So thank you for traveling with me over that route. I hope you ride this route. I hope you enjoy that route. I hope that this video was enjoyable to you and that you like it and that you would watch other ones. And that's all I have to say. So I want to advise you to keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up, as you ride safe, as you motorcycle through North Texas. Have a great day. And here we are coming up to the casa to end our ride, just like always, and into the garage. There we go. As it gets a little darker, and I see my dog is happy to see me and is jumping up and down at the door.